Good morning. It is a Monday video. So we have some news from the front lines down here in Mexico. And the reason I say it that way today is because it was a very eventful week. The week started out with a phone call. A phone call from Pastor Petch in the United States about a family that was having some problems here in Felipe Carrillo Puerto. And I had no idea of what I was even thinking of or getting into, but it comes from Santa Muerte, which is the um, cult down here in Mexico that is worshipped, and you basically pray to death, and death is supposed to keep you safe and do things for you. Anyway, they put up altars in homes, and this family had an altar in their house, but the wife was getting sick and not getting better. The husband, we didn't know it at the time, but the husband on Sunday, before I met with him on Monday, had a heart attack or a precursor heart attack, and so he was very concerned. So they wanted to get rid of the altar. Now, this is a big thing because they've been seeing shadows in the house, noises in the house. So it reminds you of the aspect of something being possessed. And so I never go into that kind of a setting without fear and trembling. So I wanted to call prayer, so I called my home church and had them praying for the time there. And it worked out well. They did want to get rid of the altar. We tore the altar out, broke it down, put it in a bag, took it off, and burned everything in it. And they offer strange things. There were beer bottles there. There were cigarettes, partly burned, partly unburned. They had incense. They had fruit that they had put on this altar. It was just a little small thing in the corner of the kitchen. But what it did was open up the door to demonic forces. And those are real here in Mexico. You know, I understood the aspect of living by faith. But when you get to the mission field, it adds a whole new dimension to those things. So we prayed, we took the biblical stance on getting rid of the stuff, getting rid of the altar, prayed with the family. Then we went back the next night and anointed the house, anointed them. They asked if they could be anointed, and I said sure. And so we took care of all of that. So that was the start to a very interesting week. We had one saved on Wednesday night. As you know, I'm preaching for Pastor Petch, who's in the United States. We had 3 saved on Tuesday. We went out to Chancay. The reason it's special is because if you remember 2 years ago, Celestino, the 83-year-old Mayan man that accepted Jesus Christ as his Savior. And the one that when he heard it in his language, he was ready to accept it. Well, this was his daughter, Gladys, and his 2 grandchildren, Adrian, or we would say Adrian, and Rihanna there, and they both accepted Christ as their Savior as well. So that was exciting for Pablo and I, and very exciting for me. We're hoping they'll come to the church on this coming Saturday at the other Gladys's house. And so we're excited about that. Pablo, pray for him. He wants to start a kids club in Chancay so that the kids can have something to do while the adults are in the church service. So please pray that direction for Pablo. It's a new endeavor for him and my wife, Diana. And so pray there. That's this Saturday going to happen. And then Tomas is home, but his surgery's been moved again yet. It's in October the 16th now. So, but he is back home. So pray for him. Pray God will work. We had one saved on a Wednesday night, which is a little unusual, and we're excited about that. So we've had a lot going on, a lot of news from down here on the front line. So thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your faithfulness in giving. As you can see, it's making a difference. We're seeing things happen here, and we're excited about that. So continue to do so. Continue to pray. Pray that safety will be given to Pastor Petch as he's on his the end of his trip there in America, and he'll be coming back to us here in Felipe. This past Sunday, I've got to tell you, this was an exciting time because it was called Viva Mexico, which is their celebration of liberty, their 4th of July. Viva Mexico. So live Mexico. And the service was geared around that. And so it was pretty exciting. Had a meal afterwards. The folks got together and served food. And so it was a pretty exciting time. Very exciting for us here in the Mexican area. So it's just been full times. Continue to pray. Nothing's slowing down for this week. We're looking forward to the things happening this week as well. So continue to pray and ask God to do a work.